here, why don't you guys introduce yourself? Is everyone here who's going to be speaking?
Yeah, we're here.
All
So
right.
I'll go ahead and begin. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for Flash Calls and everybody here for joining us for our AMA. My name is Ishan. I'm the CEO of MeccaGalaxies. And I have my teammates here, Repaz and Shrek Pepe. Repaz is the co-founder and the CTO of MeccaGalaxies, and Shrek Pepe is the one who is the game designer for the levels and has a lot of gaming experience. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and introduce our. Did you want us to go ahead and just present the project? Or do you want to ask questions? How did you want to?
I think we should perhaps start with kind of a synopsis of the project, and then maybe give you your background about your history with crypto, about your team members, and then we can get more into detail about the project itself.
Okay, sure. So I can give you an introduction. I'll give you a little bit of background on myself, and then I'll have Repause and Shrek Pepe also talk about themselves. So basically, a little bit of introduction of what our project is about is we actually started on our project Mecha Galaxies a while back, but it was all behind the scenes, and we've been working on the game, we've been working on the demo, we've been working on the roadmap and everything behind the scenes. Very, 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 very dedicated to the project itself, and we've been spending a lot of our money on the project until this point. And Mecha Galaxies basically is an RPG 3D based game where the mechas, the mecha bots, they would travel the galaxies to take over planets, and you would be fighting against other mecha bots in order to take over territory. And then we will have our PvP gameplay that will be our first milestone that will be ready at launch. And these mecha boxes, they'll have different weapons. We'll have loot boxes that help gear up the mechas themselves to make them stronger jetpacks, stronger wings, stronger weapons, stronger armor. And yeah, so basically they would take over the planets, would fight one another, and we earn rewards that way. A couple of key aspects regarding our token is that we do have a play to earn. We're working on a metaverse as well. So you can see on our website, we have a little showcase of how our metaverse, in a way, will be working on. Example, and then we'll also be doing an NFT pre-sale. So we have an NFT collection of 10,000 unique NFTs that are going to be specifically for those who buy them at pre-sale, and those have use cases in them themselves, where the ones who buy these NFT mecha bots, they will actually be automatically whitelisted for the token price. They will actually get a 3D printed miniature figure as well. Also, these people who
That is
yeah.
that a SLA or deposited? I'm
Sorry, I
actually
didn't hear.
familiar with a lot of 3D printing stuff. Is that a PLA? Is that SLA printing? Is that ABS? What kind of 3D print do people get if they get that 3D print? You have 3D printers set up for that?
Yeah, so
No,
we'll
like
yeah, go ahead,
it's
Michael.
likely going to be PLA printing, and we're outsourcing it. So we
Ah,
basically give the players or the buyers access to the 3D models of their mecha, specifically the one that they buy, so they have access to basically the 3ds Max files, FBX, whatever format they choose, and then we'll also go directly to a third party to have them printed, but they'll have to claim
okay.
it.
If I may recommend, usually small figurines are better with resin printing and SLA printing, because when you use PLA and ABS and stuff like that, the layer height is usually at minimum zero point 0.1 millimeters, whereas for SLA printing, it can go a lot smaller than that, and even reach the injection molding type quality. Just a
Mhm.
suggestion. But yeah,
Okay.
sounds awesome. So from what I got so far, it
Mhm.
seems like this would be considered a strategy game. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
No, it is more so a first-person uh, shooter or first/third-person shooter game. Not really a real-time strategy game.
Okay.
More
And you
more
get
of a
to
shooter.
control like your own mech that you get if it's attached to an NFT or that you build yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, you control your
Awesome.
character in a 3D space.
And would you over time add customizable parts,
Yeah,
guns,
exactly.
legs, wheels, stuff like that.
There are 5 interchangeable items like helmet, chest plate, weapon left hand, weapon right hand, and jetpack. And those are each their own unique NFTs as well. So the items in the game are NFTs, as well as your playable character is an NFT kind of a thing. And you sort of hot swap the items, unlock better ones, sell the old ones that you're not using anymore, and just upgrade your mecha as you go.
Nice. So yeah, about the thing with game NFTs and crypto games is the most important part is making the game fun, and making the collectibles desirable, making customization enjoyable and fun, stuff like
Hmm.
that. And it sounds like you guys are on track with that. And I'd love to see the demo once you play it. But before we go there, how about we have your other members introduce yourselves,
Sure.
and then we can continue from there.
Yeah, sure, go on.
Yeah.
Should I
So
go?
yeah, go for it, Seb.
Yeah. Hi guys, my name's Sebastian, and I am the gameplay and level designer on MeccaGalaxies. So a bit about myself is at university I studied courses on game design, and virtual worlds and other gaming topics, which I've kind of put into this project. Also on the gaming side, just to that I've been playing games since the age of 3. I remember getting a PS1 actually with a Star Wars game on it, and that's kind of
Old
like where it was
school.
started. Very well, yeah. I remember I was actually at my grandparents' house, and that's where I got it, and I was surprised. My brother actually was fighting me for it. And basically since then I've just been playing games non-stop. And that's kind of where I've been getting a lot of my gaming experience. I've mainly been playing competitive games, like for example League of Legends, CS:GO, high level Mythic Plus in World of Warcraft, for example. So I really do understand how competitiveness works in games and kind of
I can
how the
imagine
systems would
the
affect certain
thousands
things.
of hours you might have sunk into that.
Oh my god. So CS:GO alone, I have about 1,500.
Oh,
League of Legends, I have about 6,500.
wow.
And that's only those two. Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah.
If I may ask a
Uh,
question, I'm actually curious. So since you're the game developer, what platform do you use to develop the game? What do you think about Unreal Engine 5 and more recent development tools? And what do you think about other mech games and how they do things? And what inspiration do you take from those?
yeah. So for our game, we're actually using Unity. Um, and we have looked at using Unreal Engine and other such things. However, we felt with a lot of other people, just generally in development, we found that Unity and using C plus, for example, was a lot easier. C plus plus and C sharp was a lot easier. Um, I mean, with Unreal 5, it's actually kind of incredible what they've been doing, especially with how they've changed the whole lighting systems and just the whole UI of
Yeah,
it
the
is
lighting, the
pretty
dynamic
impressive.
polygon detail, the amount
Yeah,
of detail
exactly.
that can fit in live streaming, live editing. It's incredible.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's really something else. In terms of our game, we've really tried to keep it as low poly as we can, really, because we will eventually hope. So when Unity is really good with low poly assets. Uh, um, so we're keeping it low poly as we can while trying to keep the balance of really good, nice graphics in terms of style. Is because we eventually want to release it as a mobile game. And as we know, even though as mobiles are getting quite intense in terms of the software that they're running to make games run well. Uh, in a lot of places around the world, um, their mobiles aren't as powerful as the ones we have over here, and so we really want to try to make it as accessible as we can
Yeah, as
with
long as
everyone.
the level of detail kind of works together with the designs themselves. Like I
Yeah.
remember Majora's Mask, and it's not exactly high detail, but the art, works with the level of detail. Um, Although I would hope that at some point you would be able to have kind of dynamic level of detail where perhaps people with more powerful systems can be able to turn up the detail But that might require a lot more effort in the future to kind of integrate that into the system. So definitely getting it onto mobile, getting it out there is first. But awesome. So when you're talking about a mech game, you have a lot of you have you're fighting against other people essentially. So have you built it so that you always have a match? If you're not able to match with someone, that you're able to kind of fight against the computer.
Mhm.
And does the experience, from your experience, have a natural feel to it in that you're never waiting a long time for loading screens, stuff like that. Oh, is that
Mhm.
the demo you just posted? A video of it?
Um, let me see what they've posted. But I'll go into a bit of the gameplay about what you just said. So when the game launches, obviously, you were launching as a PvP game for sustainability. PvE isn't very sustainable at a base. So with our matchmaking, we're looking at 3v3 and 5v5. So this means that the pool size of players is actually quite small in terms of a per match basis. You're not looking at 20-player battle royale or 60 players. Um, so our game is going to start PvP and then we're going to have PvE. Uh, and because of the way the
Yeah.
PvP reward system will be working, we will not be making it to a point where AI will be taking the place of players, as that will pretty much infringe upon the whole reward system that we have in place for the PvP side. It might be possible something later, but obviously, let's just say 50% of the players are AI, then after a while, that will cut into the rewards of the players, and that might give quite a negative feedback within that
Yeah, so
aspect.
perhaps only in PvE as a way of, grinding a story mode, or,
Yeah.
grinding for NFTs, or
Mhm.
gaining experience, for example, in aiming, and other types of experience like tutorials and stuff like that.
Exactly, yeah. So in our PvE game, which we'll be launching at a later date, we're currently looking at two different styles of game modes. So the first one is pretty straightforward. We'll spawn you into like a map, into a nice large map, and at the top there'll be a progress bar, and you just have to go around clearing the map from these enemies, and then eventually you'll spawn an elite monster or boss, and then once you kill that, that will be the end of your map. Uh, Whereas for the other one, we're looking at a more dungeon crawl style of game. So the way this would work is the player will spawn into a much smaller map, and they will have to fight through that map, and then they'll have to fight through about 5 of these maps back to back, and then eventually they'll be put into a boss room, and that is once they kill the boss, that is where the map will finish.
Awesome. I did get a look at the GIF of the running mech and the couple maps posted, and I do have a comment on the animation. It looks excellent, and the tree I'm seeing just in the foreground does make really good use of the art style and the low poly aesthetic. So I really like that kind of thing.
Where are we looking at these posts?
This is
I'm
in
not.
chat. So the AMA is currently like a live voice call, but
Yeah.
if you click into the chat itself, you'll be able to see everyone's chats. I'm seeing a lot of I see the comment about League of Legends still being toxic. Most likely.
It is. It is.
And some people asking
Oh,
for
so
showing your
toxic.
website.
Yeah,
So
no,
yeah, if
I'm
you
not
have any links, post them in chat as well.
Mm,
sharing
Stuff
the
like that,
website.
and some pictures here
I'm,
that I was looking at.
I guess I'm
Yeah,
just
some
not seeing the
are
latest
loading.
messages.
Some of them are still loading. It's in the comment section, Michael. When you click on it, when you see it, click on
Mhm.
the comment, and then
Yeah,
you'll see.
Telegram.
Okay.
I had to get used to this kind of thing in Telegram because it's kind of in the same place, but it's
Right.
different. And then in the chat,
Comments
the voice call is at
specifically
the
for.
top. So
Okay.
Oh yeah, I
But
see. Yeah. Okay, I see
yeah,
it
we're all,
in the announcement comments. Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
yeah. So if
yes,
you're able to post your links in here, chatters will be able to
yeah.
access them. And
Give
I
me a
will
reminder
get
now.
to questions after we go through, the generic, questions in the beginning, about the project, about your backgrounds. So people in chat, I will get to questions. You don't need to ask twice. I do see all comments. And I just want to welcome, everyone from coming. We will be doing 3 whitelist giveaways and a $20 giveaway at the end. So make sure to stay until the very end, and enjoy your time here. All right. So is it you two, or is there one more? I believe.
There is me. Yes, I am Michael.
for it.
I'm the CTO. So I was sort of the co-founder with Z. We knew each other from just the crypto space previously, and I had the skills to at least kick off the game development and get us started. And I knew Seb was in the process of finishing up his studies, and so we got the team together and just started making basically an alpha version of the game. I am not per se a game developer, but I am a very avid gamer and coder in my spare time. I work as an electrical engineer actually, but yes, in my spare time I do a lot of coding, and so I had some experience with Unity and was able to just get a basic pre-alpha version of the game. We've since handed over game development to like a professional game studio, crypto game studio actually, but basically building the initial idea of the game and sort of framework, I guess, was me and Seb, and basically designing the how the gameplay would feel. My background in the crypto space specifically, I've just been an investor in different projects for maybe, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years, I guess, 5 years probably. I was mainly coding actually bots for Telegram to promote projects, to be honest, in the past. And
That's where
then,
they come from. People like you, huh?
yeah, it is.
Well,
It's me.
someone's got to do it, I suppose.
There is a market for it. It's a pretty sought after service.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've since stopped that and focused more on this project. But yeah, I am the CTO and sort of lead managing the current game devs as well as smart contract devs.
Awesome.
And yeah, so
So
Seb got into a bit of the gameplay when he was talking about those PvE game modes. I think in the next part we'll probably hand it back over to him to talk about PvP mainly, because that is what we're going to be launching as a PvP game. But
yeah,
maybe we
so the
can
launch.
leave the floor. Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll talk a bit about the PvP. So as I previously mentioned, with PvP, we're launching a 3v3 and a 5v5 game mode. We're also looking at launching free-for-all game mode as well. So I'll talk about the matchmaking system first as well alongside it, just so that you kind of get an idea of how the rewards will work. So when we're looking at the matchmaking system, we're looking at both two separate elements. We're looking at the player's gear score, which dictates how strong they are in terms of stats, and we're also looking at how good the player is. So we're looking at a matchmaking rating. So the reason why we're looking at this is purely because we don't want the game to be pay to win. We actually want it to be a skill, be quite largely based on skill. As well as if you're a new player getting into an NFT game, I won't name any games, but there has been some NFT games I've looked at that I've personally played where I came in as a new player and I couldn't even touch these players purely based on the stat difference and character
Yeah,
difference
I'm
that these other
familiar with
players
that
had.
kind of thing. It's
And
difficult to kind of balance, especially items. If you're talking
oh
about
yeah,
items or weapons with different styles, it's difficult to balance, the overpowered ones with the underpowered ones, with people who gain experience, in different things. And to make it, interesting, things need to, to be different. And it's difficult to balance all of that to make it fair.
of course. And another thing about which makes balancing even harder is just the general skill progression of players, like the more that they play, because obviously it will be a new game and people won't be used to our movement. So this might mean that ranged weaponry could possibly be, which might completely overshadow melee. But however, as players' skill gets better, melee might overtake ranged weaponry purely based on the mobility aspects of that weapon. And that's quite a thing that will be taken into consideration, balancing the weapons and gear, just so that people understand, just so that people get used to the weapons, and that changes, just to make the game more balanced. So the way we're implementing these two aspects of both gear score and skill-based rating will be so when a player finds a match, they'll be placed in a bracket based on their gear score. This is so that stats don't overshadow a player's skill to a certain degree. Because we don't want them to overshadow that. So let's just say gear score 100 to 199 would be bracket 1. Bracket 2 would be 200 to 299, for example. And then once a player gets matched within their respective brackets, we're dividing them further based on player skill. This will, in theory, give a very balanced matchmaking game, so that nobody feels that they are behind purely based on the fact that they might be a newer player or that they haven't invested enough money into the game. So what is the point of these brackets? So to play into these PvP matches, players will be enticed to buy an entry ticket, and these will change in value based on the bracket that they have. So this means that a new player will only be able to buy, let's say, a $1 ticket in the game. This is because they fulfill within bracket 1. So if there's 10 players, the prize pool will be $10, and then the rewards will be split amongst the winning team or the winning players in their respective orders. So this means that in bracket 10, these tickets might be worth $100, and this will give players a $1,000 prize pool. And let's just say, if we're just talking about numbers, in the free-for-all game mode, for example, this might give a $500 reward to the top player, which is a 5 times return in just one match. So what happens if, let's just say, you're in bracket 10, but you don't feel like playing in such a high bracket and paying so much for a ticket? Players will be able to buy a lower bracket ticket and play at that lower bracket. So a bracket 10 might be able to buy a bracket 1 ticket for $1 and enjoy just the $1 match. And that is kind of how the reward system and the balancing will work in the PvP aspect of the game.
Okay, and for ways in which this could possibly go wrong, I do hope that you're open to feedback and experience from players, for especially how this is developing since the beginning. A lot of things can, go wrong in the balancing, in, miscommunication between, the developers and the players, and kind of what your plan is. So are you able to take feedback into account and kind of change the project over time as,
Oh yeah,
as
it'll be
people
100%.
for sure.
Yeah.
We want to even probably have like some sort of maybe 2 weeks of playtest before launch with some community members to try get their feedback on how they figure out how to play the game, and we can already get at least like a sort of idea of what's going to become overpowered or not, kind of a thing. But obviously, yeah, the balance will be a tricky game that we play with the players over the course of many months to try get it as balanced as possible for all fighting styles.
Yeah, so you brought up the testing period. So do you guys have an alpha or beta version available for people to play, or is that coming out soon?
That's not out yet. That's probably at least a month and a half away, probably after the NFT sale. The idea is we're going to have NFT private sale followed by NFT sale. Those NFTs that people buy, they'll be able to connect onto our website and actually just play and run around as their mecha, as the NFT that they bought. So they won't just view it on OpenSea or whatever. They'll see it in game, see their mecha that they bought as a 3D playable character, and maybe be able to hit some dummies or AI mobs, like you say. But that won't have rewards or PvP yet. And then about 2 weeks to a month later after that is when we'll launch the sort of initial PvP version. But yeah, we'll see if we can squeeze some playtest time into there. But yeah, we're on track for game development. It's more just if we want to get the balancing right, we might have to push out a very alpha version for players to start trying in the beginning.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So you said that's a month away. And if you post, your links in chat, I see you've been posting links in chat for people to have access to it.
Yeah.
You can post that every once in a while, such as your website, your Telegram. But
Yeah.
is there anything else you'd like to add before we get to some questions from chat, especially as it comes to security of the NFTs, what platform you're using, stuff like that?
Yeah. Okay, so I think that we should probably leave a space for questions now, just so that we don't give too much information at once. We'll
Because
go
the
into
PV is huge, yeah.
Yeah.
the rewards, as well as the PVE, the reward systems for PvP and PvE. We'll go into a bit more detail on tokenomics, but all that we'll do after. So yeah, we can just jump into some questions for 10 minutes or so.
All right. So let me look through chat for some good questions, and I'll be giving away whitelists. We have 3 whitelists to the best questions here. Let's see. And if you see any great questions, you can let me know as well.
Sure.
I saw somebody, Kian Rob, said asking about the financial background and how we funded it so far. Michael, would you like to take over that one?
Yeah, sure. So from start to date, past I guess 2-3 months of development, it's been all self-funded by us, the team. No private investors for the moment. All bootstrapped by us, including paying the current game studio that's working on the game development for us. Yeah, hopefully we can start to speak to some private investors and people that are interested in helping us push forward the project. And yeah, that's
One
the
thing
background.
I'd like to add from what Michael said, yeah, we have been funding it within the team, putting our own personal funds for the project. But that also shows you the dedication and the passion that we have for the project that we started quite a few months back. And we're actually going to show the demo to you guys as well. So, Michael, if you get a chance, you can share your screen and then we can show our demo.
Yeah,
I think
that would be a
when we
great time
jump
to look at the
into
demo.
Yeah.
well, probably more when we jump into game. Seb was going to go over some more gameplay aspects, but yeah, I'll pop it up on the screen. Just a disclaimer for you guys: Telegram is notoriously bad at what's it called? At sharing video. It likes to blur and distort everything I share, so it may seem quite laggy in terms of frames, as well as quite blurry, but that is not the case, I promise you. Let me just pop this up quick.
And we will be getting to more questions from chat, although we have addressed some of these questions so far. But we do want to hear more about, security, since in crypto, this is a very important topic for a lot of people, to make sure that they don't lose their hard-earned, NFTs and MEX, and about, the platform that you guys might be using, and some details about, the behind-the-scenes development that people want to know about. But yeah, that can be after the demo.
Sure. So just let me know if you can see my screen. Yes or no?
Let's see. Where do we see that? Yes. So if
Yeah,
people click on the live stream, because right now it's only audio. If you click on the live stream, there's also a visual to it, and you can kind of see. Yeah. So I can see the video.
Mecha rotating.
Interesting. Looks kind of Gundam style. Yeah.
Yes, that is the aesthetic we're going for. So if you'll see, what we've got right now is basically just the ability to randomize the skins on these NFTs, on these mechas, entirely random. And that means that the colors, the distortion, the patterns, the way they're stretched and squished, all the combinations of colors, everything's really randomized. It's just integer numbers from like 0 to 255 for RGB colors, kind of a thing. So you have quite literally tens of millions. I haven't done the math, but a lot of possible combinations for different mechas and their visual styles. Obviously, we've tried to make it so that the higher you go in terms of rarity, the more cool, quote unquote, your mecha looks. You'll have cool particle effects like fire, lightning, or light emitting textures that sort of move and flow across the mecha in a wavy pattern. We've also got, I think, a few different items. There's 5 different helmet models currently at the moment. You can see those changing. Some different chest plate models. Just go through these.
So you said earlier that there are 10,000. You said 10,000 NFTs, right?
Yes. Well, the collection will be generated with 10,000. This pre-sale collection will be of 10,000 NFTs, and they will be generated randomly. Most of them will be common. and then a smaller portion will be uncommon, a smaller portion will be rare, epic, and legendary, kind of a thing.
Okay, yeah. So there's different kind of rarities. So people who get the rarer versions kind of feel better about the NFTs that they're getting. Do you know
It's
kind of the
randomized.
percentages? Yeah, it's randomized.
Yeah,
Okay. Do you know
we have
like the
the fixed number. Somewhere around 60% is commons, and
okay.
then all the way up to I think 1.75% is legendaries, and then in between is sort of just scaling up towards that to fill in the last percentages. And it'll be random when you buy your NFT. You'll be paying a fixed price like everybody, and you'll have a chance at getting a rare, a common, a legendary. And if you get lucky, then so be it, kind of a thing.
Yeah, and
So
undoubtedly they'll be kind of more in demand and more expensive if people want to sell them and just play the game with common level items. If you get a rare, that might be way more in demand than everything else, or a
I
legendary
think
even.
it is probably quite laggy on Telegram at the moment, but this map here that I'm running
Yeah, that's the
around in
live stream.
is a space hub map kind of a thing. We want to make a sort of public area where players don't have to fight and they can just socialize and meet up with each other and hang, kind of a thing, before they go into battles. Also want the shop to be a physical place in the game, kind of a thing, sort of like trading in RuneScape or WoW, going to like an actual physical place to do your trading. I can quickly just go fly around outside for you guys, show you what some
Yeah,
of the
look,
planets and
this place looks highly detailed. Are we able to see any of the maps, or have you finished developing those yet?
We do have one map in here, but it is probably not a final version, to be quite honest. So this is just space, basically. A whole bunch of asteroids, planets. I'll quickly hang us over to another map. Oh. Let's get a cool skin to run around with. So this is the idea for one of the maps where we'll fight in. This is the idea of what the enemies will look like. Right now we got some lizard men, some enemy mecha robots as well that you can fight. They're also quite low poly, just like the rest of the map. In this map, the idea is,
the alien planet, stage.
Yeah, you'll spawn in and basically just have to wave clear until you reach enough mobs cleared, and then you'll go into actually fighting the boss. So one thing I would note is that this version of gameplay right here is pre-alpha per se. So this is really before the game devs were able to sort of give their own touch and start pushing the game further, because they are better game developers than me or Seb, to be honest. So I'll give you guys a quick video of what the most up-to-date gameplay currently looks like. I don't have that as a demo on my PC, but let me just send another video in chat for you guys quickly.
But yeah, the stages will look different, maybe more detailed, maybe different designs,
the
and they
same
would
sort
change
of
over
assets,
time.
though. The same sort of assets. This low poly style is going to be consistent
Yeah.
throughout, but they'll each have themes to them. We've got like a lava map that I sent some pictures of. The alien planet. There's a sort of a spaceship arena map where you're just fighting on a big fighter freighter ship in space. And then at launch, we're planning to have basically 4 or 5 different arena maps, kind of a thing, for PvP. Like I said, this is one of the PvE maps we developed very early on, but we are launching with PvP only. So the maps that are initially going to be out are more arena style, to facilitate PvP gameplay, kind of a thing.
Yeah,
This is
the more options, the more, different types of maps, the more different types of assets, NFTs, the better.
Yes, sir. So basically, you can basically show it, I guess, just the randomization of the NFTs and how each mecha is really unique, because it's not only the visuals of your items that are completely random, it's the stats as well, right? So your stats are capped within certain ranges based on their rarity. A common item can have anywhere from +0 to +50 attack. whereas a legendary can go from plus 90 to plus 100 kind of a thing. And then you'll have attack, defense, health, dexterity, precision, dodge, a whole bunch of different stats. And these will help you sort of solidify how you want to play the game with your mecha. If you want to be more tank-based, more speed and agility-based, whatever it may be, however you think is best to play the game and matches your gaming style, you can try kit out your mecha that way by collecting the right items for your fighting style. And this will tie into balance, right? How players discover what is most overpowered and what we need to either look into buffing or nerfing, kind of a thing.
Yeah, kind of
But yeah,
discovering the game meta.
yes. If you
So
guys
I've
do get a
seen
chance,
this question. Sorry, go ahead.
if you guys do get a chance, go ahead and watch that video that I just posted in the comments chat. That is a more accurate depiction of the movement system. Was overhauled entirely, so it's a lot smoother now. The animations were sort of all done from scratch again. And the actual combat movement system, I guess. We've got basic sort of sword swinging and dashing here, but it's nowhere near as crisp and clean as what the game devs have been able to achieve. So I think that video does it more justice. So if you guys want, you can go check that out.
I've seen a couple of questions in chat about the number of NFTs you're starting with, about how
Yes.
10,000 may be too much to begin with. Do you have any comments on that?
In terms of, okay, maybe in current crypto market, 10,000, selling out a collection of 10,000 is hard already, especially with the current climate of crypto. In terms of the player base we're hoping to achieve, we don't think 10,000 is that crazy. The idea is those 10,000 NFTs are rare. They are not basic run-of-the-mill mechas. They have already rare items on them. They have increased base stats, so they start basically with a head start from a free-to-play player, because the idea is when the game launches, anybody can rock up and mint their own really basic level 0 mecha and start playing the game for a couple cents kind of a thing. Their mecha will be entirely blank canvas kind of a thing, really common skin, base stats, and they'll sort of slowly start to level him up and get new items for him. But the people who bought these 10,000 in the collection, they will have a head start in the sense that they will already have some rarer loot items with their higher base stats. They'll be earning more rewards right off the bat because they will be stronger kind of a thing. And we also want to bundle some other little perks into those NFTs. So you'll get a loot box every week for every NFT you hold in your wallet. You'll get, like we said, the miniature figurine. So we want to try and give some sort of incentive to that collection of 10,000 NFTs, but there will be free to play as well in the game kind of a thing. So it's, in terms of if 10,000 is too many, to be honest, we've not really had that much, that feedback too much in terms of the people we've spoken to. But we can look into it about how much interest we have in the project around the time of the NFT sale and check back on those numbers.
Yeah, I guess it's dependent on what the future value of rare NFTs might be, the initial interest, and whether or not you'd like to keep NFTs in like the market just in case people want to buy them over time.
And I mean, we'll have our own marketplace. Like we said, you can, if you swap a new helmet out because you just dropped a cool one in your chest, in your loot box, what are you going to do with the old helmet? You're going to put it on the market. If it's a common one, it goes for whatever value someone's willing to pay for it, kind of a thing. And so players will define the prices and value of what. Oh, sorry, I can't get through that. Players will define the value of what each different item is worth based on its colorway, its skin, if they think it looks cool or it's a really rare combination of colors, or if they know it has agility stats and everybody's been building agility because it's the best way to build at the moment, then the value might go up. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, it's a player-driven economy. You sell your items back. There'll be a lot of commons flooding the market for sure. And the idea is that the higher tier items intrinsically make you stronger and make you earn more rewards. So they should have more value just off the fact that you're earning more rewards from being a legendary mecha rather than a common mecha kind of a thing.
Right. I do have a concern though. You did mention that the market may be flooded with commons, and I just
Hmm.
want to know if you have any plan for that. Since if people can't sell their commons, would there perhaps be an option to burn NFTs for in-game currency to be able to, get more experience in game? Because if people are minting their own or, discovering a lot of commons or uncommons or rares, they may not have a use for them once they upgrade to
Yeah,
a more rare item, and someone else might
yeah.
not want to buy it either.
So there is the idea of like using commons to craft, I guess, another loot box similar to hex deck
Ah,
crafting in League of
crafting.
Legends, if any of you have played. So you'll take, I don't know, 10 commons and craft a common loot box, and basically give it another shot at opening a loot box and see if you can drop a rare item. Because the only way items are generated in the game is through loot boxes. You can never outright buy a legendary item from us. You can buy one on the player marketplace if someone's put it up for auction, but you can never. We're never going to sell you directly from the game contract a legendary item or whatnot. It'll always be through loot boxes. Players open the loot box, and if they get lucky, then they get a rare item. If not, then more commons, kind of thing. But yeah, we'll definitely have some way of adding value back to these commons, and it'll likely be through the form of crafting more loot boxes, kind of thing, and burning them, like you say, to not over flood the market.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Let's also
All right.
let's
I do
also
want to I do want to continue. I'll let
Yeah,
you say that right now, but I do want to continue since we don't have a lot of time left. I think we will go over time just to be able to address a lot of chatter's questions because we've been talking a lot about game
tokenomics.
details.
Tokenomics is something we do have to go over, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
we'll use.
So let's go through some questions. I do have whitelists to give away, and at the very end, we will give away the $20 to perhaps the best question, just to make things simple this time.
Sure.
Um, so Keen Rob says they're a bit concerned about the financial background of the project. Their question
Hmm.
is what the source of funding for the project is, or do you have companies or careers outside of the crypto space which you use to support the project?
Yes. Well, it's our personal funds from working day jobs. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's personal careers, kind of a thing. So we've sunk our time and money into this project for multiple months, just because we really thought that we saw a spot in the market where a lot of games coming out had no initial gameplay, and pretty bad gameplay, to be honest. A lot of NFT games don't really deliver on what they promise. So we thought we can build a game, at least a basic demo game, for not too much and in not too long. So maybe if we do that before we start marketing the project, it'll serve as a good show of trust to our investors, so that they can see that we've actually got something in the pipeline already, and that we've been working on it. So that's why we went about developing the game ourselves with our own funds for now. And yeah, we're now reaching the stage where we're looking to bring on private cell investors to help with marketing, because marketing is one step in the crypto space that costs a lot of money, because everybody wants their cut, which is fair. And so yeah, we're doing a sort of fundraising round now to try further game development to get it to the point of release, as well as market the whole project.
Gotcha. Are there any specific questions in chat you want to address while I look through some of the questions? I do want to give the whitelist to the best questions. Yeah, I think cryptologist was the one I had addressed earlier
I
about
think
sufficient liquidity to fill market orders. That was about the basic
tokenomics.
NFTs that people might be able to burn or turn into other NFTs.
Hmm.
So I think I'll give a whitelist to cryptologist. But are there
There's a
any?
question here from Ozon.
Awesome.
Have you been able to build a complete project, and what is the way to generate profit/revenue of the token? What is the income model? So yeah, in terms of how, so we'll have to go over the reward system specifically for PVE, because like we've explained, PVE is unsustainable, and we've designed a, call it, semi-sustainable way of avoiding a huge crash at launch. But essentially the way money goes into the game is loot crates, right? You'll play the game, you'll drop loot crates just from playing the game, finishing maps, winning PvP battles, but you will be able to buy these loot crates, buy them out directly, however many you like, from the game contract, right? So if some big whale comes along and he wants to buy loot crates, common loot crates, rare loot crates, whatever it may be, he can just buy those, spend money. That money goes straight into the game contract, and then it's split up. Basically, 50% of that money goes directly back into the player rewards pool. So it bumps up the amount of rewards players are getting from playing the PvE maps. So that's mainly where PvE rewards come from. It's other players buying these loot crates and in-game items. There's faction orbs. There might be little boosters and whatnot, stuff that will sell in the in-game shop, kind of a thing. And so 50% of that money goes back to player rewards, and the other 50% goes towards marketing, game development, paying wages for the game developers. Any kind of sort of monthly cost is from that pool of money, kind of thing. That's where month-to-month income comes from for the game. In terms of the PvP reward system, like Seb spoke about, that system is entirely sustainable because players buy a ticket and then their rewards come from the pool of money from the sum of all those tickets. So if 10 players put $100 in, you got $1,000 pots, and the rewards are paid out entirely from that. So initially, when PvP launches, that system will entirely sustain itself, and we won't necessarily have to rely on too many players buying these loot boxes. And then once we've built a sort of player base and have daily users, have people actually buying these in-game items, these loot crates, then we'll slowly start to release the PvE content in phases, kind of thing, in seasons, so that we can control how the PvE rewards are sort of sent to players, I guess. Yeah, the PvE will come out slowly in phases, proportionate to player activity, I guess, kind of a thing. We won't obviously slow down game development. It'll still all be happening in the process, but we just want to make sure everything grows in a healthy and sustainable way.
Yeah, so that seemed like a very detailed question and answer. And it would seem like there's plenty of opportunities to kind of integrate income-making methods, such as purchasing, NFTs, purchasing maybe skins for NFTs, or different NFTs with different types of, that's instead of, buy to win, it's buy to, get your favorite NFT, essentially.
Yeah, and match your fighting style however you want to play, kind of a thing. So, and
that's related to something I had an idea about earlier. Since you're kind of building on the low poly aesthetic, one way to make sure that gameplay does not remain stagnant is to integrate other abilities and types of weapons. So you did mention that there's right arm, left arm, jetpack, stuff like that. But in addition to go ahead.
At launch, we'll have basically 4 melee styles as well as 2 ranged weapons. And the idea is as we go, we release more models for the armor, the body, as well as more fighting styles, kind of a thing. But they have to be. So
maybe two-handed sword, maybe two-handed gun, maybe what's the one in maybe a grapple hook, instead of a jetpack, you can have a grapple hook and kind of, or like a double jump and a grapple hook instead of a jetpack. So, different type of styles that, integrate with different, fighting techniques.
I think right now we've got sword and shield, two-handed sword, hammer, which is also two-handed, and spear, which is also two-handed, nice. I think.
So I have given out the 3 whitelists. Since Ozan is the 4th, do you think that kind of question is deserved of the $20 giveaway? It was a pretty good question.
I liked answering it. So sure. I'm fine with that completely.
Awesome. All right. So this is the last giveaway for this live stream. We will close out in a bit, and I just wanted to thank everyone for joining us for this live stream. Do you guys have any last details and last bits of information you'd like to leave us with about your project, about your beta, alpha, your your launch, stuff like that?
I guess I'll go first. First of all, we've only spoken about the PvP today. The PvE scope is massive for what we have coming. Also, after the NFT sale, we're looking on having an app on our website which will allow you to connect your NFT to the game, and then you'll be able to walk around in the NFT that you've actually purchased from the NFT sale. And that's going to be quite a nice thing, just to kind of see what you have already.
Yeah,
I think
half of the point for a lot of people of NFTs is being able to access them for profile pictures, in VR chat, in places that they want to show off what they might have won or purchased.
yes, we want there to be a use case. It is not just a JPEG. That is the idea. I guess some
Awesome.
other quick things. Well, before we finish up, we have VR gameplay planned in the future. We've got this video on our website of our mechas and our worlds actually being used in VR. This is more just a play test to show that everything's compatible in VR, and it is a possibility for the future, but it is not our focus for the moment. But it was more just proof of concept that everything works in VR because of our low poly style. VR can sustain it, kind of a thing. And then I think the main point to touch on is our private sale. I'll quickly run through this. Our private sale is happening directly in our website. So usually what happens with a private sale is you send your money to an unknown wallet in a Telegram channel that somebody sends you, kind of a thing. And then you wait a couple months for news about game development. Again, we've done everything in a very different way to try increase trust and transparency with our private investors. So we have a smart contract already running on our website. Basically, you can connect your wallet. It'll tell you whether or not you've been whitelisted, and what your allowance to buy is currently. It'll be 1,500 max per person, 150 minimum, and you'll be able to contribute tokens directly in our website. USDC on the Polygon mainnet, because this private sale is happening on Polygon. The game also runs on Polygon, as a quick note. And once you've contributed your USDC, you actually get tokens directly into your wallet. So this is something that not many private sales do. You will get these tokens directly into your wallet. They are not tradable. You can only use them once the IDO happens. You'll be able to sort of trade your tokens 1-to-1 ratio for the IDO token, with a vesting schedule, basically. So it's just to give our private investors that sense of they actually got something for their investment, and they're holding something in their wallet. It's not much, but we think it should help a little with trust with our private sale investors.
Awesome.
And,
So everyone be sure to check out the website for further details. And you can also ask our project members here any questions that we have not been able to address. So if you guys want to post links in chat again so people can check them out, and to also contact those who have won the whitelist and the $20. We want to make sure our winners get their deserved rewards. Yeah, so thank you guys for joining. I really appreciate you dropping by, telling us about your awesome game. It seems to be, infinitely expansive, lots of different opportunities to integrate with, different NFTs, different fighting styles, different types of things for different players. And it sounds really exciting. I'd love to see it succeed. So thank you for joining.
Definitely, thank you so much, guys, for joining us for AMA. Make sure to check our website out, check our socials out, join our Telegram or Discord. Even if you're not a gamer, there's going to be passive rewards. All the details for everything is in our white paper. I know we didn't even go in very much detail, but we did give a rundown and a summary of everything. But if you want to get into more detail, the white paper's there. You can always reach out to us as well. And thank you so much.
Of course, thank you for joining. And for all of our chatters, thank you for joining us. We have plenty of more opportunities to win whitelists and money in the future. We have AMAs coming up all the time, so please join us for our next AMAs. But for now, thank you for joining, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day, everyone.